Picture this. It is your first day of class. You walk in and you realize you know absolutely no one there. You look around, you start to feel a little anxious, a little nervous, but you see an open seat. So you slowly slide in. And as you do so, the teacher comes in and she's looking around the classroom as well. And that's when you realize that this teacher knows exactly how you feel. She doesn't know anyone either. She may be feeling nervous and anxious as well. So what you might want to think about is, how does she get to know these students? How will she open communication so that everyone feels more relaxed and gets to know each other? Today I will be talking about how to communicate with students in a study session and how this helps to open up communication. You may not plan to be a teacher like I do. However, we all meet other people daily. And we are daily learning new information ourselves. So by learning how to communicate with each other, we get to know each other, and we open the way of communication so that we can teach others what we know. Because of my anxiety in meeting others, I did some research in order to determine how to make communication with others easier. Today, I plan to explain that maintaining focus is a learned activity, that public speaking is something that we do daily, and how we can effectively lead group activities simply by getting to know one another. Many believe that a teacher is in full command of the classroom, and because of that, students are naturally attentive. However, many teachers have noticed the frequency of students who do not pay attention. Many feel that this is lack of motivation on the students' part. However, Dr. Rand, a professor of early childhood education, states, some children and adults do not have the skills to maintain focus. Her studies show that the prefrontal cortex of the brain controls the executive function. That when this is not developed, maintaining focus, impulse control, and retaining information is very difficult. One approach to this would be what is called chunks and breaks. With chunks and breaks, you present a very small amount of information over a limited time. By giving them just a little information at a time, they are able to maintain their focus and get that information in their brains. For example, instead of giving them everything you know right at one time, you want to take just a little bit of what you know and give it to them over a limited amount of time. By doing this, we are ensuring their success by teaching them how to pay attention. We are also helping them develop a love of learning. In an article by Catherine McDowell, she says we need to define the win. The goal is for lives to be changed. If that means you throw half the lesson plan out the window, then step aside and let me open that window for you. Basically what she's saying here is sometimes the lesson that we have prepared for the day is not what the student needs to hear. For example, when you walk into the student and you see the student and they ask you a question, do you answer their question and then go on with the material that you've decided you're going to cover for that day? Or do you answer their question, make sure that they understand the information, and see if they have any other questions regarding the information? If you said the second one, you would be correct. Because they've raised questions over that previous information, you want to be able to teach them that, and we are making sure that they understand the lesson that we've already taught them before we add more information to that. Now that we've discussed how to get the student to pay attention, let's look at the ways that we actually speak to the public daily. The Yale Center for Teaching and Learning says that 75% of people fear public speaking. Many feel that public speaking means you must act in a special way, or they presume that public speaking to be unnatural. However, the Yale Center says that public speaking is something that one practices on a daily basis. Anytime that you speak with another person, we are calling on and honing our skills. There are so many ways that we actually refine our public speaking daily. These are social gatherings, when we go to school, when we go to work, when we have our meetings with others, or even among our family. For example, when you go to school and you meet someone new, you go over and you introduce yourself. You are actually perform in public speaking because you are getting to know this person and you've never met them before. Many feel that their speaking patterns or attitudes should change when they are giving a formal presentation. However, most of the training on public speaking actually is to force oneself to go back to do what people do normally. To overcome this, we would need to use voice quality and modulation. An example of voice modulation would be, the definition of voice modulation would be that you are making good use of the volume, pace, and pitch of your voice. When you do this, you give life to your talk. You stir an emotion in the people that you're talking to, and you actually can motivate them to do whatever it is that you've suggested or are talking about on that day. Lastly, let's discuss ways that we can lead group activities. Catherine McDowell says in Effectively Lead a Small Group that we should get to know those in our group. We need to get them moving and interacting with one another. This helps us to get to know what the student is interested in, as well as how best to focus their attention. One way to do this is what is called connect time. Connect time is a short activity that you do in order to get to people to know one another better. You could make this a question answer. You can make this a fun, hey, what is your favorite food? And then find out how many like pizza and how many don't, for example. Another example of this would be discussion questions. These questions would allow us to determine whether the student is understanding the information that we have covered. Today I have discussed how paying attention is a learned activity, that we all speak publicly daily, and how we can effectively lead group activities in order to get to know each other better. So, whether you are in a group setting, or teaching one-on-one, or just meeting someone new, you now know some techniques that can make you feel a little less nervous in a public setting. So, what I would like for us to do now is we're going to stand up and do an activity called Human Knots. I need 4 volunteers, please. Thank you so much. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here in the side, and you're going to get in a circle. And what I would like you to do is cross your arms at the wrist. Okay, reach across and grab someone's left hand and tell them your name. Well, first off, we need just one hand. Everybody hold one hand up in the air. Okay, you do a right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. Okay, reach out and grab somebody's hand. Let's do that hand. There we go. I think I told you wrong. Okay, I would like you to tell her your name.
My name is Joelle. My name is Sophie.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Lydia. My name is Lilian.
Okay, now reach out and grab someone totally different, other hand. And tell them your favorite color.
Blue. Blue. Yellow. Blue.
So we have 3 blues. Way to go. Okay, now that you know a little bit about each other, you're going to get real personal with each other, because now you have to come out of the knot without letting go of each other's hands.
Alright, Sophie. Yep, nice.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time. This is just another example of how you can get to know each other better by doing a little icebreaker or group activity. Thank you so much for your time today.